Hello everybody, Necroxis here, and I wanted to make a little bit of a react video, I guess you could call it, to the latest internet freakout directed at Blizzard. Now, I actually just learned about this a couple hours ago, but apparently it's been happening for like 2 or 3 days now. My personal excuse is that it was my birthday 3 days ago, so I'm giving myself a break in that regard, so I guess I missed it. Another reason I missed it was because Blizzard only sent out this survey I'm about to talk about to some people, not everybody. So basically, if you hadn't heard what happened, Blizzard was sending out surveys to people who both play their games now and also used to play their games but still have their emails with Blizzard, you know, the option of, you know, let me know about deals and stuff in the future, blah, blah, blah. So basically, I have my notes right here. Let me read them out first. The first one, they asked several questions in the survey. The first one was, they inquired about the annual pass, and for those of you who don't know or didn't play back then or forgot, the annual pass was you subscribe to WoW for a year, non-stop, you're under a contract, and then they would give you Diablo 3 when it came out. I was under it, I participated in it, I did it, I thought it was great, it was a great deal, I had no problems with it. Other people did, there were some technical issues with it, like I know Rioris, paid the whole year but couldn't get Diablo 3 because he was under 18 when he entered into the contract or something. I don't remember what his deal was, but there were some issues. So basically the first question was, if they did an annual pass now, would people be interested in it again? Just basically as like a theory. They weren't saying like, you know, Warlords of Draenor and then you get Reaper of Souls for free or whatever. They were just saying, if we did this again, is it something you'd be interested in? So that one didn't really get a lot of attention, rightfully so, because there's nothing to get mad about that. So what really happened was that what really freaked people out, or got people complaining, was they then asked about Warlords of Draenor, and they said, you know, I have to make sure to note here that they said specifically, Warlords of Draenor will, and it still does, include a boost to 90 for the price of $39.99. Before anyone comments, remember, that still is what's happening here. But Blizzard then said, they asked, would you be interested in paying for Warlords of Draenor without the boost for $39.99 or with the boost for $49.99? So basically, you're paying an extra $10 for the character boost. They're saying, they were just gauging reactions, that's all they were doing. They were saying, would you be interested in this or that, or do you want to basically just keep how it is already? Is the implication if you say no, basically. So that was the first question. The second one was, let me see how they phrased it here. They said, they gave you a blank box and they said, what would you think is a fair price for a boost to 90 feature? And mind you, the feature is separate from Warlords of Draenor. I presume it would just be like an in-game store kind of thing where it was just like you buy it and you get to 90 on whatever character you use it on. How much would you be willing to pay for that? Now, those last two things, the internet lost its goddamn mind. It's the same people who were freaking out when the transmog helms, that I still think are stupid looking, were introduced to the store. All of those exact same, you know, straw man arguments and you know, slippery slope arguments of, you know, if this is introduced, then paid epics are next, or whatever crap people keep saying. If you couldn't tell by now, my opinion is I don't really care about any of this. So I guess I'll give my opinion about these first, and then we'll end with what you guys think, and you can leave those in the comments below. First, the annual pass. I already hit on it, but I thought it was fine. I participated in it. I thought it was good. I got my free Diablo 3 free because some people kept saying to me, like, it's not really free, you're paying for WoW, but I was going to be paying for WoW anyway, so in my opinion, I did get it for free, but whatever. Annual pass, I'm a fan of. If they did it again, if they said pay for WoW for a year and we'll give you, like, Legacy of the Void for free, I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll do it again. You know, it's a $40 value that you're getting for continuing to play the game that you were going to pay for anyway. So, for For one, yes, I would do the annual pass again. Second, would I pay for Warlords of Draenor without the boost for $39 or with the boost for $49? Now, this one's funny because I actually side with the internet on this one. I would not. And the only reason, though, is because they already advertised it when they announced it at BlizzCon as the boost to 90 being included in the presumed $39.99 price like every other expansion has been. I'm only against that. And mind you, this was just them gaining reaction. They're still doing the boost to 90 for $39.99. They were just asking people how they felt about it. But the only reason I don't support what they're asking is because they already established that they were going to do one thing. And I think it would be intellectually dishonest if they then switched it and said, oh, it's going to be $50 with the boost, but $40 without. Now, if they did that with the next expansion, if they came out when they announced it and said, you know, when their trailers come out and they show like all of the features, like, you know, garrisons and blah 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 blah, and level to 100. But if they came out and said optional, boost to 90, and then they explained that, you know, you can pay $10 more and we'll give you a boost to 90. If they came out and established that when they announced it, then I wouldn't have a problem with it. I probably still wouldn't pay the extra price for it because I'm not someone who plays a lot of alts. I mainly play my Warlock, and I just got my Mage to like a competent level 90 gear set, so I still wouldn't probably get that one. But if they came out and established that from the beginning, I wouldn't have a problem with it. The only reason I'm against it now, as I already said, is because they established the other way first, and they need to be intellectually honest with their fan base and keep it like that, which they are still. So, all right. Third one, what would be a fair price for a boost to 90 feature? This one's harder for me to answer because I would be interested in it, but I probably would get one at the most, if that. And I think the most that I would pay for that would probably be $15, like $10, $15 at the most. Which basically, what they said with their whole question of 39 versus 49, they're basically saying $10 is what they think a boost to 90 is worth. And yeah, I would say that. You're skipping a lot of content. So yeah, 15 would be the most for me. Would I get it? Maybe one time. Possibly. But it wouldn't be until like deep into the expansion's life cycle when I've done everything I could on my Warlock. The last patch has come out already. I did all of that content, or as much as I want to do, and I want to start a new character, but I want to skip all of the bullshit that I've done. Cataclysm, Vanilla, and Cataclysm combined, I've leveled through that at least 10 times. BC at least 15, Wrath at least 15, 80 to 85 at least 10, Pandaria at least 5 times now. So if I could pay to skip all that, I would do it in an instant. And there's a point to this one that people kept making, like, oh, there's going to be a bunch of people at level 90 who don't know how to play their class. And my response to that is, did you actually watch BlizzCon? Because when they were explaining the boost to 90 feature, they were explaining, we're going to give you your abilities, all of them that you get at 90, we're going to give you them over a couple of levels. And they specifically said, just like how they did with Death Knights. And for those of you who, for some reason, has not made a Death Knight yet, you start out, oh, I hit my tooth there. You start out at level 55 with, what, like 7 or 8 abilities compared to level 1 where you have like 1, if that. You start out with 7 or 8, and then as you level, you get like 3 or 4 each level until you hit 60, where you have an amount of abilities that's comparable to other level 60 classes. That's the same amount, basically. So, if they did that, if they started at level 90 and they only had like what 40% of their abilities, and as they did the Warlords of Draenor introduction, they gained all of theirs, and at the end they had all of them. I wouldn't care, because you're still learning your class, you're just learning it a lot faster. Will there be people who don't know how to play? Yeah, but there's people who go from 1 to 90 and still don't know how to play. So I think that complaint really doesn't have a whole lot of water. Is there anything else I want to say about this? Oh, I think it's funny that all Blizzard is doing here is they're asking the community for their opinion, and they're trying to gauge the feedback of their player base, and people are like dinging them hardcore for it. It's like, I guess my first reaction, and I first saw this on MMO Champion, and my response was, yeah, fuck them for trying to gauge their player base's reaction, right? It's like, what? Blizzard literally cannot win, I would say, with like 30 to 35% of the internet who has played their games and quit. It doesn't matter what they do. They will automatically be against Blizzard. Blizzard could cure cancer, and people would complain that they didn't cure diabetes instead. So, you know, those people are just a lost cause immediately. And I think it's funny that Blizzard is getting criticized for asking what the people who play their games think. It's like, shouldn't it be the opposite? Shouldn't you be commended for gauging your fan base's reaction before you introduce a change, even if you're even going to do it in the first place, because we don't even know if this is the thing that's coming. So yeah, that's basically my opinion on that. I want to just one more thing that's involved with this. People were also saying, you know, why should any of this be a thing because it's a subscription-based game? And I've heard this a lot. I hear this constantly. Total Biscuit, before he quit playing WoW, was pretty famous for criticizing Blizzard and World of Warcraft for this when they began introducing like the mount in the pet store. And I disagreed with him then, and I still disagree with that opinion now. And the opinion basically is, if you pay for a subscription, all of the extra stuff you should get for free. And I disagree with that. And the reason is because why? Why do you feel that way? I don't understand. Is it because free-to-play games do that, and they have like a bunch of things that you could pay for, and therefore somehow automatically subscription-based games can't do that based on just principle? But why? Again, the question is why? If Blizzard is giving you extra content that they made separate from the expansion that you bought, and separate from the game that you're paying to support. Before I continue, by the way, people are really confused about what their subscription pays for. It pays for development of the next game that they're working on, as well as mainly upkeep of the game they're playing now. It's for, you know, all the admins on the forums. It's for all the bug fixes. 99% of them, which they fix like almost immediately if they find them. Of course, there's going to be somebody who points out one bug that's been in the game for a while, which is why I said almost and 99%, because there are still some bugs in the game that don't work right and haven't been fixed. So the vast majority of the bugs they fix right away, that's what your subscription goes to. It goes to Blizzard's famous customer support, which is probably one of the best in the video game industry. Their GMs, especially their online system now, I had to recover some heirlooms that I deleted like almost a year ago, and I got the character back that I had him on, and the heirlooms that were on him when I deleted him in probably the span of 20 minutes. And that's amazing. And that's a service that you are given and paid for through your subscription. So I don't understand why people think that if you pay a subscription, all of this extra stuff needs to be given to you for free or not be included at all. If Blizzard wants to take extra time to make, like, you know, that stupid sparkle mount or those dumb helms that look okay to some people who really like them, and then charge people for it, then why? Why can't they do that? What's the problem? They spent extra time that's not going into developing, you know, Warlords of Draenor or whatever the next expansion is to sell to people because there's obviously an interest there. I don't see what the problem is for them paying it. I don't think having a subscription automatically means you can't do that. It just doesn't make sense to me. Is there people who disagree? Comment in the comments below. Tell me why. Tell me why, if it's a subscription-based game, why there automatically can't be like an in-game store. The only thing I am against and have always been against are pay-to-win items. And that's basically if they did start selling epics. If they did start selling like Warforged whatevers on the store like right now, or comparable into the future expansions. You know, pay to 90, you know, mounts. Frankly, I wouldn't even care if they introduced a feature that was like, pay $10 and we'll give you the fastest flying speed. That's pay to convenience. I think if that's not a coins term, I think that needs to be a coin term, because there's pay to win, and then there's pay for convenience. And pay to win and pay for convenience are totally different. You are paying for convenience is you're getting something quicker than I could, but it's not better than what I could get. Does that make sense? You get it faster, but it's not of a better quality. It's not like you're getting 400% mount speed if you buy it, and I can only pay gold and get 310. No, it's the same amount. If they do that, I don't see what the problem is. If people only play like 1 or 2 hours a week, and they want to pay $10 to get fastest speed, that's fine. Especially nowadays with how easy gold is to get. Go for it. Make all the money you want, Blizzard. That ties into like a point that's kind of related. It's kind of this whole money grubbing aspect of Blizzard. Isn't the point of, especially in America where we like jerk ourselves off so much about, free market capitalism and all that bullshit, isn't the point of a game company and a company in general to make money? If they're doing that without taking advantage of the players or screwing up the game for people who aren't paying extra, why can't they do that? I just don't get it. And I want to get your guys' opinion. So I have 3 questions for you today. 1, did you like the annual pass? This is a 2-parter. Did you like the annual pass if you signed up for it? And would you do it again if they did a similar feature where it was like, pay for Warlords of Draenor subscription for a year, and we'll give you, StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void for free when it comes out, or we'll give you, Diablo 3, the 2nd expansion when that one comes out. Would you do that? 2, would you pay for Warlords of Draenor without the character boost for $39, or would you pay for it with the boost for $49? Basically, would you pay an extra $10 for the character boost if we didn't already know that they were giving it to us for free? That's kind of an iffy question to ask, but let me know what you guys think about that one. And finally, do you support a paid to 90 feature? And if you do, how much do you think it should cost? And if you don't, why? And I'll even throw in a bonus question. If you don't think there should be an in-game store at all because it's a sub-based model, could you explain why? Could you explain why without just saying, like, it's money grubbing? Because that means nothing. That's just an insult. So that's about it. That's all I wanted to know. I basically want to make a video because I saw the internet losing its mind. And once again, I didn't understand why. Once again, it felt like people were just complaining just to complain. Like I said earlier, those 35% people who pretend that they're the majority when they're not, just are screaming and just pounding their chests and going crazy. And I thought it was funny, and I want to make a video about it. So yeah, let me guys know what you think about those 3 or 4 questions in the comments below, and I'll see you next time for whatever we choose to do next. Because as always, for Warcraft, there's always more lore and people complaining about everything about the game to explore, and I hope you guys do that with me. So, farewell.